We live and work in a great state, rich in history, culture, and a proud legacy of innovation. Yet today, Connecticut's economy is at a crossroads. Our economic recovery trails the rest of New England and the country. In the 4.5 years since the recession ended, we've yet to regain all the jobs lost during the economic downturn, and many independent national reports consistently rank our business climate among the bottom 10 states, hampering private investment and slowing our recovery.
You need jobs.
What are we doing to bring more jobs into Connecticut, bringing businesses?
I just want to make sure small business is able to thrive in this state.
We've got a long-term problem.
Make it more business friendly.
I think we can do a lot better. There's room to grow.
The cost of doing business in Connecticut is very expensive. We have some of the highest tax rates in the country.
Well, we've been in a tough economic situation, as we all know. That's had an impact on the funding that's available, and that in turn has an impact on the services and the number of people that they can serve.
Clearly, Connecticut's infrastructure needs to facelift, and you feel that every day. Clearly, there's no dispute about that. The question is how we can build that infrastructure and do it as efficiently as possible.
I think the number one problem is the cost of living.
Some of the tax issues.
That really does have an impact on the ability for us to be able to have the money available to hire new employees, to buy more technology, and reinvest back into the organization.
Connecticut is a state that, of course, is not inexpensive for our employees to live in.
But I think right now one of the challenges is we are losing more talent than gaining.
That's clearly on their mind, where their children have a chance to grow up in communities that give them a chance to compete on a global stage. And so I think that's crucial for Connecticut.
We provide job opportunities, employment opportunities to people with disabilities, which is not only life-changing, but also economically important to the state.
When the recession hit in 2010, Sound lost 34% of our business within 3 months, and we needed to find a way that we could kind of take control over our own future.
In order for the companies doing business here in Connecticut to survive, they had to get lean. Those principles apply whether or not you're making a laser or whether or not you're trying to deliver first-class public education for 5th graders. That's the message that I think Connecticut has to embrace.
That's where we are now. What steps do we take to make the changes? I see that as that's an opportunity.
If we're going to go from 49th to 20th, that's going to mean that there's going to be some positive economic development trends happening.
But what Connecticut now has to remember is Tennessee wants that business too. So does South Carolina, so does Texas, so does Utah, so does Arizona, so does New Mexico.
Does Connecticut have that kind of mix that it needs to make the changes? Absolutely.
So we have to look at ourselves and benchmark ourselves against those states, borrow from those states of what they're doing well, and at the same time not give up on what Connecticut's done very well.
There's a great group of people here who have all the skills and the knowledge that we need, and we need to develop the younger workforce.
This is the home of Eli Whitney. This is the home of interchangeable parts. This is the home of some of the finest aerospace companies in the world. So we've got an advantage. We want to sustain that.
We need to stay in business to serve the most critically vulnerable people in Connecticut. And there's a huge price to pay, both economically and in terms of, human quality of life if we don't stay in business.
I'm thrilled and excited to see the CBIA embrace this CT20x17 initiative. We've decided we're going to get competitive and improve our rankings against the various other states.
CT20x17 is very important to nonprofits in our community. We contribute to the economy and to the well-being of people in Connecticut in ways that the average person doesn't usually think about. They simply enjoy the benefits of that.
And I think we can do it. We've got a lot of people who seem to be devoted to it, want to spend the energy to do that, have the imagination to work on that. And I think it's going to take a collaborative effort from people from all different communities across Connecticut.
As we move and tackle those issues as we are, we're going to see a vast improvement in the economy.
More and more younger people are going to start to say Connecticut is a very good place to live, work, and raise a family.
I see a lot of opportunity for my children and other young people in the state of Connecticut.
This state has tremendous assets at its disposal, and we just have to harness those assets together, focus on our efficiencies, focus on our imagination to do things.
Connecticut has been good for us.
We all have one thing in common. We have families. We all want to live a prosperous life. We all want good health.
People need to understand that we really are all in this together, that we're a community, and every member of the community has to benefit.
Try to overcome those constraints, work amongst ourselves and with our colleagues in Hartford to bring about some significant reforms so that my children will want to raise their children in Connecticut.
A better economy in the state allows for better opportunities for everybody.
And so we'll have money for education, we'll have money for roads, we'll have money for improvements, we'll have money to attract more businesses to come in.
Be part of that change.
This is an opportunity for the entire state.
We just got to get it right.
We have to make Connecticut a top state for business. It means making this a great place to live, work, and raise a family.
CT20x17. Build a brighter economic future for everyone.